Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Learn with Jason. Today on the show, we have Tara Manicsic. Tara, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, I'm super excited. Tara is on my team at Netlify, and she is hilarious. And so, I mean, not to like put you up in a.
The
we're just
whole rest of
really
the time, I'm just a really lame jokes. I'm like, I'm sorry. I thought I was funny.
Okay, all right, we're starting out strong here. Anyway, so for those of us who are not familiar with your work, do you want to give us kind of the quick background?
Yeah. So the day I was born, no, just kidding. So I started at Netlify just a few months ago, and was very excited to join as a developer experience engineer working with Angular specifically. I've been involved in the Angular community for a while now. I help co-MC NGConf, which is one of my favorite conferences. It's the biggest Angular conference, and it's a lot of fun, and you just learn so much and are surrounded by the Angular community and great people. So it was a really exciting role for me to take on at Netlify. And I've loved Netlify before I even worked there. I actually did talks at conferences about Netlify before they cut me a paycheck. So yeah, I had a little bit of a Netla crush, if I may.
A Netlick crush.
Yeah. So I've been doing I was in developer relations at Progress, this company beforehand, and I was working with Node, and then also I was helping with a component library in the beginning, where I was working with Angular, React, and Vue. So it gave me a really cool insight into a lot of the languages and just how similar a lot of these frameworks are.
Mm.
And before that, I did a lot with Node. I was a Node developer working on a platform as a service, and that was awesome as well. So very
Okay,
happy in my career choices.
so this is something that I've never been able to ask somebody before. You worked on platform as a service. How do you
Yeah.
say the acronym?
Oh, people have said PaaS so many times, and if you notice, I said platform as a service. So there's so many. I don't know if you know Raymond Camden, but if you don't,
Mhm.
everyone should know him. He's awesome. He's really good at, like, he calls PWAs pause and like SPAs spas, like, and with no qualms about it whatsoever. I don't have that much confidence. I I
I,
say
so
the whole word.
I always read it as like pause, like little pause,
Oh,
right?
that's fantastic. Especially so there's a kind of library that's called JavaScript for cats. And so it's like teaching people JavaScript, but in the guise of like you're teaching a cat. So I
Okay.
did deploy for dogs. And so I had all these gifs of my dog, and I dressed her up in a sweater and had her like clacking away on a keyboard and everything. So pause would have been perfect.
Well, we
Missed
can we can bring it
opportunity.
back. We'll do something. We'll find a way to use that.
Of course we
Um,
will.
all right. Thanks everybody for joining. We got Nikki in the chat. Bobby Tables is in the chat. Ferris, thank you for coming from all the way from France. So that's a lot of fun. Um, so Tara, what are we gonna do today?
So I'm really excited, and you can see it in my Twitter feed because a lot of my Twitter feed is taken up with this. But there was no static site generator for Angular before Monday, yesterday. So the Hero Dev team, yeah, they made their handle, but I haven't filled it with anything.
We're in great shape here.
Um,
Okay, let me share this. So here is an announcement post.
Yeah, so I was really excited about it. Hero Devs is a great team. It's Aaron and Sander and Jorge, and I know there's more people on the team, Andres, and they put together a static site generator that lets you basically just use Angular, which is really nice. Angular has these great kind of toolings called schematics that help you. They basically make a virtual
I
tree,
was going to ask
and
about that.
yeah, so it's like they make a virtual tree, a virtual file system they call a tree,
Okay.
and they like compare it to, they take all these changes you want to make to the application and make sure it works, puts everything in place, and if everything builds fine and nothing gets ruined, it returns that tree and you have a new application.
Okay.
And you can actually use it beyond Angular too, Angular as well. Not to be confusing.
So we have one small challenge before we can get started with Scully, which is that the last time that I wrote any Angular code, I believe was in Angular 1. And I remember there was a lot of talk when Angular switched over to Angular 2. And now it's like pushing version 9 now?
That's what we're going to use today is 9.
Ooh, all right. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're starting at a deficit. I'm not gonna lie. I have literally no idea how Angular works. So this is gonna be fun.
I'm actually really glad because I think, I mean, one of my favorite things about JavaScript in general is it tends to be just more friendly.
Okay.
And I think like one of the things, like Angular is very opinionated. Angular is very bulky, but in not so positive words, or very lots of features in positive words. But because
it's very supportive and
yeah.
it cares for you. It wants to see the best
gives you
for you.
lots of presents. So, but like with that, it kind of makes the process of like there's there are different ways to make it easy to generate things because it's so opinionated. You say, I want a module, and it's like, oh, here are all the things that happen when you make a module. I'm going to throw them in your application. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
So
I'm ready
I think
for this
it's
magic.
It'll be pretty fun. Yeah.
So I honestly, usually what I do to make sure that I'm not going to have weird issues is I like go and install the CLIs and stuff beforehand. And I totally forgot to do that this time. So
it's good because it's a little special way you have to do it.
Ooh, I like special.
Because it's in RC6 right now. Angular 9 is. And Jules Kremer is head of, I'm going to get her position wrong, but I like to say that she's in charge of all of Angular. I'm sure she won't be mad about that.
President Angular.
Yes. Madame Angular has announced that.
I'm into it.
So she's actually was like, we're going to push the release of 9 back because we're in, mid-December. I don't want to stress the team out. Like, that's such a refreshing point of view to me that like, how can you be mad about that?
I saw that tweet and my heart just swelled. It was like a Grinch moment at like 3 sizes. I was like, oh, I love that. It's like, you could just publish this today, but that's going to instantly bring the flurry of bugs. So it's like, you know what? Let's just wait until after the holiday. People got family. People have plans. Yeah. Nobody wants PagerDuty.
Yeah.
That's.
And let alone like, some of us don't have the best self-control when a new shiny thing comes out. And like, so like even just the users, like letting us focus on family time, if you want it or not. And speaking of, I had to ask you real quick because do you throw holiday parties?
I mean, kind of. It depends. Like we have a tradition where we get our whole family together and we just bake a bunch of sugar cookies, and then we take turns decorating them, and it's really funny because nobody in my family practices art, and so like my mom did this one that was so good where she was trying to make this really cute little gingerbread man, and she messed it up and it turned into this like really grumpy looking pirate, and I was so happy about it. But I feel like you had a question after the question.
Well, because I saw when you were cleaning out your liquor cabinet,
Mm.
and like you just have like such a variety of things, and I was like, that's a house I want to go to a holiday party at.
You can come to my house for a holiday party.
Okay, that's actually
We'll
what I was
throw in
getting at.
for you.
That was the whole reason for the question. I just wanted an invite.
Yeah, no, yeah, the liquor cabinet is a slow collection because like to I like to make lots of different cocktails, and like every bartender is like, oh, I'm gonna add this one like weird ingredient that no one ever uses, and so I just have a shelf full of weird ingredients that I have one cocktail I can make with them.
That's amazing. But then like you have like a bottle of like you go through a bottle of Fireball a week though.
That's the real secret. It's like I put this very like I put on airs that I've got this great taste in booze, and I'm like, yes, I have the top shelf bourbon and rare scotches, but what I really drink is Fireball. It's the antifreeze that really makes it taste great.
It makes me feel alive.
It's chilly in Oregon today. I need it. It's for work.
Yeah. Spot on. Oh man. So we can install the CLI in 2 steps.
Is it angular.io? Is that the site that I want to go to?
Yeah, but I can actually.
You're just gonna tell me what to do?
Yeah, because it's kind of a funny. I hadn't seen this setup before, and I like it. Have you ever used -- no save with npm?
Oh no, I kind of switched over to Yarn and forgot how everything else worked.
You know, I really want to do that. I'm so stuck in my ways. Because did you see that tweet from Kat that used to work at? She's at Microsoft now, but she used to work at npm.
Kat Marchand?
Yeah. Where it was like, what's one thing that you that like you know and everyone knows, but no one's like wants to admit it, basically. And it was like, one day npm is going to go and nobody has any backup. And I was like, I'm one of those people. I don't have any backup. So
oh no,
What?
Kat got her account suspended. Oh, that sucks.
Is it because of what I just said? No, I'm just
probably
kidding.
Yeah, that's probably what it was. It's probably your fault. We will share her GitHub because she's an incredible developer, and like if you use npx, Kat built npx. Like she's absolutely brilliant.
I remember when she tweeted about that with the gif of it happening. I was like, yes. Oh,
that was a legit magic moment. Like I feel like there have been a few releases where when I saw it happen, I was like, that is exactly the thing that I wanted. And and this is really one of them.
And what so many people need, especially for when you're doing like demos, there's so many great cases for it.
Mm-hmm.
Scripts.
Yeah.
But so what would the equivalent to Yarn?
I mean, I can do npm no save. I have npm.
So it's a npm i -- no save for install, and then it's at Angular.
Am I doing this for like a project? Do I need to set up a folder first?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's not rely.
Let's call this Scully Angular static sites. No, Jamstack sites.
Ooh, yeah.
I saw Phil in the chat, so I want to make sure that we make him happy.
So I'm calling it Jamgular.
Jamgular? No.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to do an npm init. Apparently my npm is out of date. That's okay. I
feel like that's always the case, no matter how many times I update it.
So this gave us kind of a basic setup, and I'm going to run npm i -- is it no -save like this?
Oh, sorry. No, we're going to make a whole directory with the Angular CLI. I'm sorry. I
Oh,
already
like,
got you off track.
oh no, what are we doing? Okay, where am I going?
So wherever you like, go back a directory of where you put your files.
Okay.
Because first we're going to install this and globally. Is that okay for it with you?
I
So that
can,
we can use the CLI.
yeah, I mean, I can also do, I can do global too. I don't mind.
Okay. So let me see how they do this stuff because now I'm looking at a project. So I think we should be able to do npm I at Angular /
I need this globally though, right?
Mhm.
Angular.
I always put my G at the end. I don't preferences.
Oh, I didn't even know that worked.
I think you can put it anywhere. I mean, besides
Just add those
before
flags
npm.
wherever you want. Okay.
At Angular / CLI at next.
At next. Okay.
And then we won't do any special magic. I mean, we're special enough. We don't need. Oh man, that drop ice Octocat.
It's adorable.
I just
Isn't it?
noticed that. So cute.
Anonymous usage data. Yeah, I
I
think
always say.
that's
You
okay.
do you say yes?
Yeah, I mean, it's like if it's anonymous, I feel like it adds so much to be able to see how people use tools. Like when I
Yeah.
saw how much information we got from Gatsby and how much it prioritized what we worked on, I was like, yes, I want my usage should prioritize what gets worked on.
Yeah. It's funny because I always really appreciate that as someone who likes to know how a product is used so that I can help make it better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, like obviously, I'm like, if we're talking about how the sausage gets made, like I guess I'm kind of like in that process. So I'm like, yes, I would like the sausage to continue to get made.
I feel like you probably also literally make sausage.
I definitely do literally make sausage. I bought a meat grinder.
Nice. Have you ever made kibbe? You should make kibbe.
What's kibbe?
Kibbe is like I'm sure it's more than just Jordanian. My husband's half Jordanian, and it's like kind of this Arab version of sausage, but it has
Oh,
like I can't even
is it like
spell it.
this?
Like Kibeh. Yeah. That's it.
Nice. Okay, I have had these
Yeah.
actually.
Oh, so
They
good.
are amazing. Yes, I've never made them, but I have eaten them, and they are wonderful.
And now you have a meat grinder, so you can make them.
Game on.
Yeah. All right. End of episode. We are
All
done
right,
here.
we're done. See you, everybody. We'll see you in the kitchen.
Oh my gosh, you should do a kitchen episode. Anyway. Okay. So,
All right, so I have time check. We are 20 minutes in. I have installed the CLI.
thankfully, this is a really fast process. Yay.
All right, I believe in us. We're gonna make this happen.
I
Okay.
believe in us as
So
well.
I created it was Scully. Yep. Okay. I'm gonna open this.
Should we focus up? Should we write some code?
We should, Nikki. It's time. All right. And I'm ready. I've got. Let me. What's the CLI command?
So ng new.
Let me make sure that I've got it.
You should be able to just do ng -- version to make sure it exists.
Why don't you? Why don't? Let me just do it again from in here. It was npm IG Angular CLI at next.
Correct.
Okay. Should be cached. It's probably because I have npx, and at some point I installed or not npx, nvm, and at some point I installed something where it like regularly forgets all of my stuff. Listen, Nico. There's ng version.
Yep.
Uh-oh. What was that? Unhandled exception? Oh, it's looking for node modules. So should I just do like ng new?
Yeah, do it ng new, and then whatever you want to. Oh,
What would you like to use? Is it going to put it in a folder? Like, should I?
uh, so it's just what name, what you want to name the project. So usually you would do this in the ng new command, and then yes to routing, and then we'll use SCSS.
Okay.
And then now it's building that out. And then it'll make a Jamgular folder.
Oh, yeah. So it did make a folder. Okay.
And then so it basically makes like the initial components. So like your app.module TS. So this is all TypeScript.
Mm-hmm.
And so it makes these initial ones and then initial ng module. And you'll see that it's like all of the Angular component or libraries are in there, like animation, common compiler. And there's a way to tree shake everything and do ahead of time compilation with Angular. So like I said, it is like pretty bulky, but then they have all these processes to get rid of a lot of the fluff, what you don't need in the end. But
yeah, and this is actually, it's kind of an interesting discussion, right? Because like, one of the things that people complain about with like React is that you don't just install React, you have to install React and then a bunch of libraries. Or like when you use Gatsby, you install Gatsby, but then you also have to install, Gatsby image and a bunch of plugins. And that can be kind of frustrating. So I think there is an argument to be made for set me up with everything that I need and then just eliminate the stuff that I don't on the build.
Yeah. And this is one of those things that it's like right tool for the job.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is why we have multiple frameworks. Like I'm not saying go make another one, but definitely
Maybe.
Like
you watching Chris Biscardi?
Oh, that's hilarious. But so this is the one thing that I realized when I was working with a component library that worked with red, green, blue, is that there are these three frameworks and there are different advantages to a lot of them. And I think that Angular does get a lot of flack, especially because they lost a lot of people going from Angular JS to this just Angular, or Angular 2 as everybody knows it, because they changed a lot. Like they should have just named it something else. But especially for big companies, you don't want to spend time, well, no team wants to spend time talking too much about the different decisions that you have to make for your stack, but especially with big companies, like you have to think when you're training everybody, if you have these resources that are just going to be consistently the same every time you use it, it gives you a lot of added value. So
I'm very on board with that. Thank you for gifting a sub, Blackbeard Matt. I appreciate that.
Did you stroke your beard when you said that? Just like an appreciation too?
It's like, it's such a weird habit now. I swear that as the beard grows, that habit forms. It's not even like, it was never something that I consciously thought like, what would be nice? I should just stroke my beard. It was literally like my beard reached a certain length and my brain was like, oh yeah, you got to do that now. Like that's just who you are.
Holy buckets, did that just work?
This is what we do now.
Yeah. I'm trying to, I created a sound effect. I can't remember which one it is that has a funny, I think
it was just like an ASMR of your beard.
We talked about that, but my mic isn't in stereo, so I can't do it.
I think that would just creep me out though. Okay,
I know.
So...
Yeah, we did it for a little while. I would just get really close to the mic and I would just give like these very, very soft things for everyone to listen to. It's like that to me is my nightmare.
Yeah, same. Even I was like, I hope he stops soon.
All right, I'm sorry. Let's write some code.
So go ahead and run ng serve -- open, and we'll take a look at what this looks like so far, because it's pretty intense.
Okay, so this is the browser I want it to be in. I'm going to run it in here.
Oh, so we would need to add code.
Oh, I got to go into the folder.
Yes.
Oh, that was the one. Yep, there's the beard stroke.
Ah, nice.
Didn't I already say this? I already said. Oh,
Yeah.
I was in the other
Oh, okay.
my other profile somewhere on my computer that I don't know where it is.
So this is gonna basically serve it up and open it on port 4200, and they basically like give you all these. This is like almost like a shortcut documentation page, which I'm a big fan of. Like if you click
Mm-hmm.
in any of those next steps, it just gives you the CLI, or sorry, the one on the
Where am I?
lower shelf of buttons. Just go back, yeah. So if you click those, it
Wait,
just changes.
is this legit gonna like? Is this gonna do something?
Yeah, it changes the terminal below. And so it gives you the
Wow,
command that you need to run to do any of these things.
that
So
is slick.
yeah, so it's like it's a nice little. I mean, it's like super simple, right? But it's nice that you can just copy that code over and yeah. And this isn't. I don't know how long they've had this here because for a while they just had a regular standard skeleton app. But we're gonna delete all that.
Get rid of it. Get it out of here. Okay.
But first, actually, well, yeah, let's go ahead and delete it first. And that's in app.component.html. Oh, yeah, sorry. Source app.component.html. And you can just do select all and delete because it's if you scroll through though, if you're interested, it's like a bunch of SVG stuff. Like there's so much in that file, which is like I don't mind it because I could just delete it, and it's a really nice resource if I was like curious of like how they're doing material icons in SVG form and like how they're making that terminal functionality work. Like it's all there. You can see all of it.
Yeah.
It's quite straightforward and simple. So I like it a lot.
That is, yeah, that's very cool. And so Angular components then it looks like there's several things happening in here.
Yeah.
Um, are each of these? I'm going to let you teach me stuff. So
Oh no,
let's
I
start
like
here.
the questions
Well,
things.
I'm mostly just wondering like how many of these are required per thing. Like if I want to create a new component, how many files are there per component?
3. So you're always going to have your view, the HTML, the styling, the SCSS, and then the logic, that the TypeScript file.
Got
And that's
it.
for every component and every module you make. And then when you do a module, you'll have the component plus its routing,
Okay.
which we're going to make some soon.
Okay. All right.
Um,
I feel confident,
I'm glad you feel.
apprehensive, a little nervous, but I am overall feeling optimistic. I'm cautiously optimistic about this. I'm ready to write an Angular component.
Well, delete everything in there.
I did. It's gone.
Oh, nice.
I did it, Tara. I did it. I did the work.
And then we're just going to, I mean, this is going to be super simple. We're just going to add an H1, put anything you want in there. Yeah, perfect. And then below that, we're just going to add the router outlet, and it's open. What is? I would open angle. Yeah. What is it called again?
I think it's
I
an
always
angle
forget?
bracket. I don't know.
Angle bracket. Yeah, that's right. And then it's router dash outlet.
Capital or lowercase?
All lowercase.
Router outlet.
And then close that, and then yep, perfect. And you can just, is that all we want there? Let's go ahead and put a footer above the router outlet. We may not get to it, but I can tell you what would have went there if we don't get to it. So just save that.
Okay.
And now that's going to be empty. You can look, it's like watching it. So if you look back, you'll see that that's there. It's all loaded. But now we're going to make a bunch of modules with the Angular CLI generate tool.
Okay.
So these commands basically we'll do one. So you do ng, and we use aliases because letters are overrated. So ng space g space m. So that G is for generate, the M is for module, and then we'll have a space and make the name home.
Right.
And then we used to add some flags. So that's all you actually need to generate a module. But we're going to do a dash dash route.
Okay.
And then space and write home. And then a dash dash module, which will set up its ng module. And do that as app.module.ts. And so this is basically, you can hit enter there and it'll walk you through everything that it's doing. But it's setting up lazy loading, setting up your routing, making all the component files you need, and then hooking up your module. So Angular uses ng modules, and it's basically a class that's wrapped in a decorator that is kind of like the orchestrator. It's kind of saying when things should run, what they should look like, what they should interact with, where the data comes from, has a bunch of your logic in there.
Okay.
So if you scroll up in your console, you can see everything that it created. So you see it did your routing. It made that TypeScript file for your logic. It made the style, the HTML for your view, and then the spec, which I should look into more and find a better explanation for what the spec TS is.
Well, the spec is testing, right? Like that's how we write our tests. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know I've never really looked into what the testing looks like for modules and comparisons to components and comparisons to anything else that you generate, like a service, how specific they are.
Okay.
Because that's what I would be saying in place of these words right now if I knew.
Yeah. So, okay. So I'll walk through this real quick to make sure that I understand what's going on. So we created a component. Let me look at this one. We created a component. This is our like home page.
Yeah.
Then we have styling that's available.
Yeah.
And then we have a test file, so we can write some tests. We have the logic, and that's in this .ts. And then we have two things that I'm not sure I understand. We've got the module, and then a routing module. And I'm not super clear on what the difference is between the component, the module, and the routing module.
So the module is like the ng module class for. So it's basically taking it down a level. You know how when you have selectors for CSS, you're basically saying like, I want to specifically talk to this thing. So this is doing that for this particular module. So there's an overarching app module that handles everything from like the imports and declarations that it uses, and kind of like it orchestrates what's happening for that specific module. And then that module.ts is more passing in data to the view.
Got it.
Does that make a little more sense?
Yes. I think.
Okay.
It'll probably become more clear as we do stuff with it.
Yeah, as we mess around with it. Yeah. And it's interesting because it's like it does have a lot of pieces to it, but it makes it so you can do more specific things without altering, like, making actions that happen to the whole app by messing with the app.module. This way you could be more focused and just touch on this module.
Okay.
But let's, so you want to do the same thing that we just did, that same command, but for users and for about.
Like this?
Yep. And then same thing, but for about. I like how fast it is too, which I used to like look at BuzzFeed articles when things were like generating, and now I can't because they're too fast. But then I also want to generate a component, which looks a little different because we're going to also have a specific user page.
Okay.
So NGGC for component, and then you do user /users. So this is shorthand for saying, like make this a user component, but we're going to rely on the user's component, which we'll go into a little more.
Okay.
But go ahead and do that.
No, nothing else.
Nope, that's it.
Okay.
And then we'll go ahead and ng serve as is, or just ng serve, and then hit enter. Oh, did we have the serve running? No, right?
No, I killed it when we started doing
That's good.
the component thing.
Because then when we go here, we can put these on our URL. So just go to /about. And you can see that it throws that in there. So,
cool.
Yeah.
All right,
Yay.
I'm on board. So this then is like a template.
Yeah.
How does it know where to put the content? It's just putting the content here?
Yep. So it's using the router outlet to, because if you go to your component routing, it should be inside of, yeah, so.
Is this it? Am I looking at the right one?
Yep, app routing module. Yep. So that const routes, for some reason, it's going a whole long line. Do you have prettier? If you have prettier and you hit save, it'll knock them all down.
Yeah, prettier.
Yay. You are prettier. So you see here that it's basically like grabbing these routes and sending this logic to that the router outlet. So it knows, like you can set the, am I looking at the right one? Oh, no, sorry. That's not the file I want. It's, I have your screen small.
I like when you lean in to read, we just get a picture of like the top of your head.
Yeah, it's good. Don't worry about that. Like, so how's my dandruff situation going? I have a new product. Oh yeah. So, I'm sorry. That's completely correct. I was just looking at it wrong. So in that, you were in the right one. Okay. App routing module. See the path there? So that's where it looks at and like knows to look for that URL path, which at home you can change to have it be the default path by just deleting home.
Like this?
Yeah, and you save that and then it'll always come home. Yay. So I want to make sure we touch on this. So since we have routes, which means that we have multiple pages, I want to go ahead and just use Scully real quick because I want to show you how easy it is.
Okay. I'm going to do a quick, like, make this into a header thing so that we have the ability to click between so that I'm not like manually.
Because you, can I show you something cool instead?
Yes, please.
Okay. So instead of doing that, let me make sure I can do the process right. There is this thing that you can do that Scully has where you look at all the active routes and you can flip through them and make them into links on your page.
Cool.
But it means that we'll have to put Scully in first.
Okay.
So,
all right. So I'm just going to put this one in then so that we can see that update. And now that'll take us home. Hooray. Okay. So now I'm ready.
I like clicking things. Yeah. No, it's funny because like even so CEO, founder, and architect of Hero Devs, Aaron Frost, was saying like, because he was again like doing all these routes for the thing, and he's like, but why will we have to type all this stuff? We should just be able to click things. Like, who likes typing things? We need to click things. And like, I'm pretty sure that's why they made this like the Scully like these active routes that you could. It's like their Scully route service.
Yeah, tools born out of laziness, right?
Totally.
Okay.
So that we all have jobs. So go ahead and actually build this out. Do ng build we'll just do an ng build and hit
Okay.
enter because it's faster. ng build prod does a lot of it gets it ready for production, so it does a lot of the like ahead of time compilation, tree shaking, like a bunch of stuff to try and speed up the actual production process. But for running build, it is a bit slower. I always prefer it though. So now we have a built thing. So you should have a dist folder now for distributables and distributables, and it that dist folder will have the project file in there. So now you always have to remember to run build before Scully, because Scully uses your built product to see what routes you have that it needs to crawl. So now we're going to use the Angular schematics and do ng space add, and then it's at Scully.io.
Like this?
Yeah, /init. INIT. Enter. So this is nice too. So this is how you do, and there will be an ng add Anglify in the near future.
Anglify.
You like that? See, I have a Jamgular with the jam ahead, and then Anglify with the Angular head. Anyway, so if you
the chat is coming up with great marketing ideas for the Hero Devs team. So Nikki was saying that he was hoping that Scully was named after the Brooklyn Nine-Nine character Scully, and that there would be a companion project called Hitchcock, which is I think brilliant. But amazing. Also there should be something called Mulder, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even better if it somehow ties into the Scully Mulder like relationship dynamic.
Yeah.
Right? I think that would be good. I didn't watch X-Files, so I don't know what that relationship dynamic is.
I'm trying to remember. Like the easiest thing for me to remember is the theme music.
That's the only thing I know. I watched one. I watched one episode, and it scared the holy crap out of me, and I was like, okay, never again. I think I was
How old were you? Was this last year?
6. I was young. Okay. It was last night. I was trying to prep. This is how I prep for shows.
How should I prep for this? Yeah. Oh my gosh, that would be hilarious. You're like, I know you want to talk about the code, but when Scully said to Mulder.
I have questions about your naming because look, I respect Scully as a character, but hey, smart ass, talking about important things here.
We're bringing culture into this conversation.
All right, so we have Scully. We built the thing, and now.
So look, if you scroll up, you can see everything that Scully did.
Yes.
I did this again. Sorry. So you're saying like every time you do ng add, it's going to install packages for tooling via npm, and that's basically like every ng add, you're basically adding the library that has the schematics in it. So that's going to always be the initial step. And then we go to actual Scully steps, which is adding dependencies like the HTTP client module.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's updating documents that you already have inside of your project. And I have a blog post coming up if anybody's interested in digging into what's changing. It's actually not that much. But there's also a Scully config file, which you can mostly right now you're using that for the plugin system that they have going. But now if you look inside of, now we have the build, now you can run npm run Scully.
NPM
and this is a script that was added to your package.json, because that's something that you can do with schematics.
Oh, cool. Oh, and serve? Nice.
Mm-hmm.
All
so
right.
It's interesting. We'll try that next. But so you can see here when they do that, they notice that you have an Angular build that is different from what they had before because there was nothing before. So new Angular build imported, and then it will see all the routes that are in your applications, pull the data to make additional routes, and then it lists. It makes a route list that will show up in your files after this is done, and then it will show you the routes that it's created as well. So basically, it's going in, and this is all. Let's see.
Yeah, here we go. Route,
Nice. Okay.
route. Good.
Yeah, so it should, just have users, about, and the main one, and it'll tell you like we made this many routes in that many seconds.
So now we have a static folder.
Yeah, so now inside of dist, you have a static folder, and what's cool is you can take that and just drop it onto Netlify's project page.
And now, so one thing that we didn't talk about is like, why is this necessary? Like, what would prevent us from putting like this Jambular folder on Netlify?
You can also do that, but when you do that, it needs JavaScript to run. And what's cool about so if you dropped that static folder into Netlify and you shut off JavaScript, everything will run just fine. And your package will be, they ship a lot of things with Angular applications. They're trying to make your site really good about being able to support everybody that wants to see it. So they'll even, do polyfills for ES5 and depending on what your browser needs, your user's browser needs. And then there's a vendor file that's huge, like a couple megabytes. And it's like with this site, if you turn JavaScript off, you're just serving up the HTML content. And so it's about 7 kilobytes. So you're changing how, what your, that was so fast. That's nice. Would you look at that?
I mean, that's pretty amazing, honestly. Like that took very little effort and very little forethought. And like, also I forget how nice it is to be able to just drag a folder on here. I always set it up through the CLI.
Yeah.
So
and that's nice
cool.
too. And it's like, if you turn off JavaScript and reload it, it's like 7 kilobytes. I mean, it's a small thing.
All right. So let's look at what happens here. Wow, that's huge. Okay, let's make that slightly less.
What is it? Is it 6.9? What, 5? 6.9, 5, 3? Is it 2?
Are you just saying words, or like what's happening?
I may have only had 2 hours of sleep last night.
Oh no.
But I ate a peanut butter toast, so it's fine. So it's pretty big, but if you Command Shift P disable.
Wait, what?
You know that shortcut? Command Shift P.
What?
Disable. Yeah,
you
buddy.
Just changed my life.
I love keyboard shortcuts.
Look at that.
Yeah.
So we did 3 kilobytes. And I mean, if you look at this is a work of art. This is a beautiful website, and we're shipping it
at least 10 kilobytes, but no.
Yeah, you would think there's no way that you could get this kind of quality for less than 10 kilobytes, but
you know what's so funny is I can't help but I love fonts, and so I always want the fonts to be interesting even when I do demos. So I should have made a demo like this that just was plain so you could see the factor of 3 kilobytes. But of course I have a 22 kilobyte font. Like a dummy. But I should probably just put it in a CMS.
That's actually a good question. So looking at this, I'm about to write some CSS. Strap in.
Do it.
If I write let's say I want to do everything in the site is going to be font family, and then I have the system font, that one, right? So I set this. Now, is that just gonna work? Remind me what the command is. Ng serve.
Here, do ng build and then do and npm run Scully.
Can we do it like it's a warning, like run Scully?
I don't know, but I got really excited. I'm very susceptible to advertising and like intentional things like that. Like I'm definitely a person that like passes a billboard and I was like, I could go for a Coke right now. And so like as soon as you did all capitals, I was like, we're excited. I can't help it.
Just keep that in my back pocket for later.
So once this is done, you can do an Netlify init in here if you want to, or you can just drag and drop. Doesn't really matter.
Let's do it. Let's set it up. Oh, I need to, let's see. Yep, get init. Okay, and then I'm going to use some hub tools. I'm going to get create.
Yeah, I forgot we haven't. What bad community members are we to not immediately do version control?
Then, does it automatically add all the things that I need? It sure does. So let's get add all. Check that one more time. Make sure that we didn't do anything silly. I don't actually know if any of it is the environment. Is that supposed to be ignored?
No. There's a git ignore when you do it. Everything should be ready for git.
Nice. Okay. So it's all None of my nonsense made it in. So good.
I was showing off one of my aliases, my bash aliases is push up. And then just whatever you put after that is like the branch you want to push up. So instead of having to do set upstream every time, because I make a lot of different projects for demos, so I just write push up master and it does the set upstream origin to master. It's pretty fun.
It's really good. I assume you already took Jamgular as the Netlify alias?
No, I don't think I did.
Oh, somebody else got it.
Oh, maybe. Oh, it was totally me. No, I don't know what I'm talking about. It had to be me. Who else would do that? Nobody else.
I don't know. So my build command then is going to be ng.
Ng build and
prod.
Oh yeah, ng build prod and npm run Scully.
Okay.
And then dist
static
/ static. Yep.
Okay.
Nice.
Now I'm gonna open it. Beautiful. We can go poke at this and see what it's doing.
Yeah. So the ng build prod will be a tidbit time consuming. That will be the thing that takes the longest. But since we are like 5 minutes out, I'll take this time to talk, just say a few other things. So what we would have added with those links is basically you can add Scully route services and it makes all the routes that you have now made available that you could take the information in as an observable and basically like do a ng4 is ours, but basically do a for loop over those active routes and consume it asynchronously through a async pipe in Angular, and then have a router link for each of those coming through. So immediately, say you have like all your blog posts as active routes, it just immediately makes links for them as soon as they're created. Nice. And speaking of blog, they also have a generate tool in their schematics that you just do. It's like ng.
Can we just do some of this stuff?
Oh, sure.
I mean, we're just we don't have to watch the deploy log. We can let that run in the background and play.
Totally. So do you want to do the routes or do you want to make a blog?
Yeah, let's start with the routes. I mean, ideally, yes. Because I don't know if you're trying to leave, but we're scheduled until noon.
Oh, really? Okay.
I mean, you can kind of you'll just slowly off screen like, okay, bye. I'll see you later.
All of a sudden, you just see my dog's head here instead of me. You're like, somehow this just got so much better. Changed, Tara. I'm so much more entertained and educated.
So a couple questions. First, we got a shout out from Clark.io in the chat. He says hello.
Hi, Ryan.
And then Eco was asking, has this been planned for a while, or was it like this dropped? Let's schedule something ASAP. I feel like the answer to that is yes.
Yes. This is alpha, just to be clear, like, so, positive side of that, like they're super open to any contributions. Anytime you find a bug you want to feature, like drop something in the PRs, and they're like super gung-ho about this. Flip side, it's going to be, there are some bugs like some documentation isn't exactly up to date, but what's cool is that they're going to make their documentation an Angular Jamstack site. So you can see the processes they do. And, they're going to, wait, what is it? Dog food it?
Dog food it.
Right?
That's a smart thing to do.
I just hate that term though. There was somebody, this entrepreneur that slipped up in a speech that I was saying. She's like, "So we're gonna eat our own dog poop." I was like, "Oh no, that's not right." And it was just like, "Oh man," good laugh on that one.
No.
So yeah, this is an alpha. They're hoping to reach beta by the end of January. And in the Angular community, people have been asking for this for a long time. We had pre-render functionality in Angular Universal. And that works fine. It's a little more convoluted to work with. Like, well, you see how easy it was to do that, to make a static site with Scully. So basically, like, everybody, the Angular team knew it was needed. People in the community kept talking about it. I like to believe that I helped push the wheel forward. Probably not. They're like, "Yeah, Tara, we know we need this. Shut up."
I don't want to take all the credit for this, but it was totally my idea.
If you notice, there's a TM at the end of it. No, I'm just kidding. So yeah, the Hero Devs team. So they do Angular consulting, and they realized, like, hey, we can make this, and we can help people figure out how to use it. The Jamstack is getting more and more popular because it's like better user experience, better dev experience. I'm not biased at all. I'm really excited to see this because the dev experience in Jamstack best practices is like my favorite. So it's exciting. Angular hasn't really, been hugely represented in the Jamstack ecosystem, and I think that's a big change that's coming for 2020.
Yeah,
2020 vision. Hawk Fillsworth.
I think that. So, and it was really cool because, like, what you and I were originally going to talk about was something else, which we'll come back and talk about that. But so this episode was scheduled to do something different, but then because Scully went into alpha, we were like, we should totally do that. Like, that's going to be way more fun. So so this is really exciting. I saw Clark. Thank you so much for gifting a sub. Really appreciate that. Nikki, welcome to the squad. Now you have a beard emote that I expect you to spam all the time. Brace yourself.
Oh, that's amazing.
I should mention, coming soon, Chris Biscardi made me a party corgi with a beard. And so that will be available as an emote for subs as soon as Twitch gets around to approving that emote. I am also going to make sure that the Corgi Stampede includes some bearded corgis.
That's fantastic. That's amazing. I have pajama pants on right now, by the way.
Yes, as do I. Always there's pajama pants. Oh. Okay, so next thing that's happening, by the way, the Netlify swag store is a thing. We got approvals. It's going to be built. I'm going to build it on stream. So I'm just going to build the whole thing as a project on stream, which is going to be really fun. But all of that is kind of secondary to the most important news, which is that I got approval to make Netlify pajama pants. So those are coming.
Oh my gosh. You know what would be cool is like having pajama pants that's all like Sarah's animations that she's done for the front page and stuff.
I thought you meant like it's all Sarah's face, like we just
I mean, if we want to get the swag moving.
That would
my
be,
gosh.
oh my God. What's the minimum order? Because that troll is almost worth it.
I was just trying to think like
Like,
which
is it
one of her
worth-
faces would I want to use?
Is it worth spending $500 to troll Sarah? Because it kind of almost is. Like, maybe we should set up a GoFundMe for this.
Honestly, like spend $500, sell them for twice the amount, and make that into a scholarship for
Ooh.
people from Concatenate to like come to
Trolls-
some conferences.
Trolls for a good cause. I'm
Yes.
very, very on board
Trolls
with
for
this.
goals.
Trolls for goals.
Can that be the new GoFundMe? Trolls for goals.
Tara, you've just like, I don't know. Should we quit Netlify and just do this startup?
Don't tell anyone.
Don't.
Okay?
Yeah, keep it a secret. All right, let's focus up because I would really love to do this.
Let's do the routes.
I want to do the route. So we have the site is now deploying. Anytime that we push changes, it's going to go live. I did a thing that I meant to do. What was I doing?
Oh yeah, we were going to see
NPM.
what the font effect had on the build.
Was it?
And pushed.
No, it was ng build
We have to.
and
No, we're gonna go. We already built it.
We
just
did?
gotta. Yeah, right. It's building on Netlify. We have to go look at the network tab in DevTools to see how big it is now.
Well, it's using system font, so it won't be bigger at all. I was
yeah.
mostly
system
trying to figure
font.
out how the CSS stuff works, but
Got
that's
it, got
okay.
it, got it.
So
Okay.
let's do routing. I feel like that's more interesting than whatever I was doing.
So go to your app component.ts.
Here.
And then where you have that private idle, we're going to put another variable inside of your constructor that's I just realized I'm pointing to my computer screen like a dum-dum. So put a comma there.
Okay.
And then we're going to add public Scully.
Public Scully.
And then you want to do a colon space capital SCULLY Scully. It's all one word, capital routes, capital service.
Okay. Do I need
did
to
you spell that
import those
right?
definitions or
Yes.
something?
Yes.
Like this one, maybe?
Yeah. Let me make sure that that's what it's actually called on when we imported. Very app.module, right? Oh wait.
I'm an app.component,
yeah,
am I
sorry.
supposed?
Yeah. No, that's right. Yeah, so yeah, you already did it. You're good. Perfect. So then we'll go to our main to the view of it. So just go to the component.html.
Okay.
And then inside our footer,
Okay.
just do a UL
UL.
and then start an open LI and space, and then you're doing an asterisk,
Asterisk.
lowercase ng, capital F,
F.
OR, equal sign, quotation mark, tick. What do you say?
Double quote.
Okay. Sorry. And then we're gonna do let route of, and then Scully.available. And then right after the available, you want to do a $sign. And this lets them know that this variable is an observable.
Okay.
This variable is an observable. This is an observable. And then we're going to do an Angular pipe to async. So just space leader or a pipe. What is it called? A leader? Isn't it called a leader? Yeah.
I don't know that. So this is a very like real fear of mine. I have no idea what any of the symbols are called. So like I write code, I read code, but then I like if I have to explain it to somebody, I'm like, I don't know, the tall one, the
you know the one that's like
this.
an I but longer.
The one that's hard to find on the keyboard.
The half of or. And then async.
Async, like so.
Close quote, yeah.
Yeah.
And then inside of that L, so hit enter there. We're gonna make an anchor. So open, yep. And then, but here instead of ref, instead of ref, we're actually using router link. So get rid of that, and then open square bracket router capital L link.
Open square bracket.
Yeah.
Capital L link.
Router and then capital L link.
Okay.
And then equal sign after the close square bracket. And then this is where we're going to say to get the routes route. So it's open quotation mark. Route. And then route. And then outside of the quote, you do the close angle bracket. And then inside here, we can do, we can bind it. So when we did this yesterday, we just let it decide. So you can have, so route, we can do double curly bracket. And in here, you could do route.title or leader. I think it is leader. But inside there, you could do an or.
Leader.
I think it is leader. Take me to your leader.
Leader?
Oh, no, sorry. The or, like a actual or, the two, yeah, your two tall eyes. Route.
Did you want it the other way? Route.
Oh, sorry. Route.leader there should be route.title. And then the second, or you could, yeah.
And then
the second one, the fallback route. No, route. Let me look this up. I think this is what the symbol.
We're just running it.
No, that's right. I want to know if leader is the right name for that symbol.
And so if I just run this, like if I do, is it ng, what was it? Ng serve? Does Scully will still work? Like it doesn't have to be deployed before we can look at it?
No, Scully you'll have to rebuild and rerun Scully. Because you're trying to render all of these things, but you can do ng serve to look at it.
Well, that was what I mean. So when
to just look at it, you can just do ng serve,
and so it'll like we can see the site with the routes and everything.
You can see the site with the routes. I'm pretty sure that is right.
Let's try it. Let's see.
Yes, that's right. But you're not going to have the static files.
That's okay. For development, I just want to make sure that that it's working.
For personal development.
Personal development. Yeah. Oh wait, that's not it. This one. Hey, look at that.
Yay!
It did
clicky
what we
things.
Wanted. Clicky things. The clicky things click properly, which is exactly what I was hoping for.
So that one's fun. And what was the other thing?
We were going to do a blog.
Oh yeah.
Which we've got 20 minutes. You think that's enough time?
Oh. Seriously? Just kidding. Go. It's run command.
How dare you?
Hold my beer. Watch this. Okay, give me my beer back. So go ahead and close out what you've done here. And you may go ahead and close that out. And then all you have to do is... see if I remember. NGG at Scully.io/init:blog.
Like so?
I wish this is just how I talked. Yep. And then hit enter. And now you have a blog.
Whoa.
So it made so if you look in your terminal as well as, have fun group. Did you realize that, I only learned this because of Silicon Valley. I didn't realize that peruse meant to take your time looking at stuff. I thought it meant like skimming. Anyway, so you can see here that it made, So it has and if you look at that, you'll see that it's also quite nice because it has front matter. I wasn't used to front matter
Ooh.
until working with the Netlify CMS, and then I was like, wow, that's amazing.
Super handy.
Yeah. So so this is here, obvi. And so it's
Obvi.
building out this component. It's making the routes for you. But then you can also do ngg. May as well just do it. ngg at Scully io /init :post space -- equals, and you can use quotes and name it whatever. You need equal sign after name.
Is it like a file name, or does it?
Yep. But you could do like spaces and whatever in there, and you don't need the markdown.
Oh, okay.
Cool. I want to read this post. So now you have that, and
Wait, then we just do that.
oh no.
Great
As
post.
he taketh away. So these, if you look at your routes, you'll have a blog route, but then if you build this out again, even if you just ng serve, that's going to be on your list now.
Okay, so this will be on my list. I'm actually really curious to see how this is set up out of the gate, because this is very cool.
Well, so I didn't think about. So it's not going to show up on ng serve because Scully is doing the work for you to process the markdown. So Angular still can't read markdown. It's only when you run Scully that the markdown is rendered, and then you see it in your static content. But the route will show up, but the markdown content won't.
Okay, so I'm looking at it. My route is absent. We didn't add it to the routes though when we generated it. We didn't do the module route thing.
I should have still added it. Can you go to /blog? I know you have to type.
Okay, so it didn't fail. It's here.
And doesn't blog have blog routing?
Yes. Oh, it created the slug only. So there's not like a blog role.
I forgot that part.
Okay, so then that should mean that we go to this. No. How does the slug get generated? Does it say?
Because there should at least be a. So in your file name.
Which file name?
The one that's showing up in the directory. That should. Let me see if I'm missing something.
Do I need? I'll just I'll do the thing, the build thing.
Oh, do the run Scully, because it may just need it. Oh yeah, do
Like so?
Do that thing. I would do that and then push it up and see what happens on Netlify.
Yeah.
But so we haven't been able to do Markdown in Angular before. So
really?
Yeah. So this is really exciting. I mean, because Angular doesn't process it. So that's one thing that Scully added was the ability to just write Markdown there, and then Scully will work with it. You don't have to do which part? The
which now?
Oh, all of the running. So there is a Scully watch. It's like npm run Scully watch, but that is definitely more on the alpha side. And so you can technically run ng build watch, simultaneously run npm run Scully watch, and anytime anything changes, your build will change, which will trigger the Scully change, so you don't have to run anything. They can both watch.
And I
bunch of
imagine that
lawyers
that's
over
something
there.
that's on the wish list, so that you're able to eventually this will just kind of work.
Well, I mean, they both exist. Um, and I feel like, and like Scully Watch wasn't that bad off when I used it. It did shut down randomly, but you know, it could be worse. um,
It could rimraff the whole computer, you know.
yeah, exactly. Oh man, I have a 11-month-old, and I have a bunch of keyboards, and I have like a bunch of different laptops. So like I give him my Surface Pro all the time.
Mm.
Um, I love my Surface Pro, mind you. It's like my favorite travel presentation computer. But I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't really thinking about it. And he was on this computer, and I had all these notes. And then I realized like a big section notes was like, asterisk, it's like, oh no. So thankfully I just undid it all. But it's just like, oh yeah,
Whoop.
he could have totally wiped my stuff out.
That's funny.
Oh,
Yeah.
there is a Scully serve as well. So there's an npm run Scully serve.
Mm-hmm.
And it will, and so that will serve up your static files for you, and we can run it. I had a little bit of difficulty with it, but hey, would you look at that?
There we
Working
go.
things.
Things are happening.
Yay.
We've got an about page. We've got, this is cool. All right. And I think,
Yeah.
do I
So
still
if
have,
you,
that literally just changed my life. I used to have to go over here and like figure out which thing
Holy
it was
buckets,
that had
did
all
that
those
just work?
buttons. Okay. So we are on a blog post, and my CSS didn't work. So we have 11 minutes. Maybe we can fix that. But I have this page loaded. I'm going to preserve the log, and let's click around and see how much data we transfer as we move. So like we go through the whole site and we're still under 15 kilobytes, which is just really, that's pretty slick.
Yay.
And I've disabled the cache too.
And honestly, like this is a totally new realm for Angular development. Honestly, like Angular was always like the exemplified as like this is what you don't want. This is the package size you don't want. And they're doing more with Ivy, and now having like people have wanted not only to have static site rendering for the size, but also for SEO crawling capabilities, and basically being able to deliver these things faster. So this is a huge step for the Angular community, and I'm really excited to see what we're able to create with this, especially now that the Jamstack ecosystem is growing so much. Like,
yeah, I mean, that's really nice just how fast that all came together. I mean, especially given like how little I know about the Angular ecosystem, the fact that I've got a site up where, if I can, let me get the, let's do this. I'm actually going to run this now locally. And I think now that we've run Scully, I'm pretty sure it's going to work. Because I think what was missing is it generates that like routes.json.
Yeah.
And so I think now that we've done that when we run the server, I think it's just going to work. So let's look.
But the markdown, nice. The markdown content won't render because of Angular. Whatever. Yeah. And I mean, if you think about like, if we cut out all of our bantering, this took us a minute and a half. I'm just kidding.
I mean, that's probably not too far from the truth. Okay, but before we wrap, fix my stuff. What did I break?
What did you break?
So do I have to do something to do global CSS because it's probably scoped?
Yeah. So where are you? You're in the HTML?
I'm in the app. I thought I would just do like the full app thing.
Ooh, what's that? That's pretty.
Ooh, we got 100 bits. That's very nice of you. Thanks, Bobby. But I always,
Cool.
I should ask. I don't know if that's offensive. I always call him Bobby Tables because of the XKCD joke. But his name is actually Robert Tables. So,
Oh man, that's one of their best jokes too.
it's really a good one. All right. So I have my SAS file. I need to do I need to like put a thing in here somewhere? Help me.
Um,
Teach me Angular.
so you want it to be what do we want? If you do :host, so this is by far my weakest area. This is like I'd rather write a Go script than touch CSS. Which actually Go scripts are nice. They're also very opinionated. but but I know from my documentation, because I actually have in my app.component.html, I have style tags, but that's just because when you render the example app, they put everything in there so you could see it. But you can do that here if you want to. So open up, and then do :host,
Host.
and then open bracket and do your fonts.
Oh, so just like take this out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now what?
Yes.
Oh, you fixed it.
Cool.
All right, we've got styles. Okay, that's a beautifully styled app. I'm gonna ship it.
Perfect. I'm trying to think. There was another thing, but that I was going to cover. But and like personally, I always really like being able to reference things back. So I will have a blog post coming out tomorrow that will cover everything that we went over.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and this is fun. So, with that, I think we can start the breakdown. So we've got the site is building now. You can go check it out here. Make sure, start on the Terra is cool post. The law or the repo itself is that opened in the wrong window. So let's open it in this one. Right, here's the repo. So we will drop that in the chat for people to go look at. Then we have what else? Let's make sure you go follow Tara on Twitter. Where else should people go to find you?
I do have a
Hold on. Just hold still because your mic harness has given you like a face tattoo.
It looks very Sith-esque.
It really, it's like, that's good. You look, it looks like an avatar. Like it's very like, it's like geometric, but still kind of, follows the contours of your face.
Oh, how about that?
It's good. It's good stuff.
By the way, Sith is a race. I don't know if people, or a species, I don't know if people appreciate that as much as they should.
Wait, it is?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
It's my favorite.
I thought it just meant that you had a hood.
Yeah, but Jedi have hood. So yeah, Sith is a
sorry,
species.
the hood and the red sword.
The red sword. Oh gosh.
So I'm trying to trigger the nerds.
I know that. That's why I'm very triggered
We're about to go all caps in the chat right now.
I like that I just start fuming. And you're like, I should, my pajama pants are Star Wars. So yeah, it's Darth Maul was Sith species. So that the red skin, black like markings. Oh, look at it's my friends.
That's you.
I love this page so much. That's when I had some blue hair. Those are such great people. Those are just people that I just want to see all the time, forever.
Yes. This is a wonderful.
So Kara Erickson, you just passed, is a developer on the Angular team. Also amazing and a super talented live coder. I don't think I've ever seen anybody type that fast and that correctly.
We need links to like Twitter and stuff.
Oh yeah, do a PR.
PR. Help. Oh God. Okay, I'm gonna have to do that later. Okay, so
Jason
Tara,
can't click things. Help.
I keep clicking. Yeah. So Tara, this was super
trying to
fun.
get out of this
I think
end.
we learned. I feel like I learned a lot today. We were able to get a whole lot done in a very limited amount of time.
Yeah.
And we left plenty of space for just utter nonsense,
That's
which
the
I'm
goal.
feeling pretty good about. And so, yeah, is there anywhere else that you want people to check you out online?
I'm horrible at this. Maybe cheesymanics.com is a thing. I'm pretty sure I've updated it sometime in the past 5 years.
Do I still have JavaScript disabled? What just happened?
Yeah, I don't think I need to make mine an Angular Jamstack site. Actually, you can do enable.
I think it must
Just
be
do it.
enabled. What happened? What went wrong?
Enable.
What's going on? Oh no. Oh God.
What did you do?
I don't
Did you
know. I
break my
broke your
site?
website. I don't think I did this.
Now I want to know. Oh my gosh, what happened?
I don't know.
Oh,
Tune in for our next episode where we live debug Tara's website.
I think I got a bunch of emails that's like we're taking away your domain. I'm like, yeah, I'll get to it. I think they actually took it away.
Oh no.
Oh no. It could be wrong though. It could just be a coding error, which I'd be much happier about. Anyway, so
code is easier
don't
to
go.
solve.
Yeah, don't go there to find me.
Yet. Give it a
Until I
minute.
fix it. Yeah. But yeah, YouTube. There's fun stuff of me on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, yeah, good times.
Shush.
Oh, do you use Grammarly? Is this an ad for Grammarly? Is this how you do your sponsors?
That's it. That's how it works. Where do you have a
channel?
A channel?
No. Oh, I do, but it's just super random stuff.
Ooh, what's in here? What is it?
I'm very interested. Oh, my uploads. There's this. Oh, these are great. In the uploads, there's my dog eating an ice cream cone. But there's some actually great people in the.
This is extraordinarily high quality content. Everybody should go watch that immediately.
That's what I'm here for.
All right. So with that, I think we're gonna shut her down. So go check out the schedule. We've got some really fun stuff coming up. We are going to work on combining REST APIs into GraphQL using 8-base later this week.
Cool.
After that, we're going to do a little bit of a break for the holidays. I will probably come on solo. And then we are back strong in January. We've got an incredible lineup. I'm going to have, I just confirmed today, Zach Leatherman's going to come on and teach 11D, I believe on the 7th. Then we've got Nick DeJesus is going to teach us about subscriptions and Stripe. I think we're going to get into, he built a Gatsby theme for that, which I'm really excited about.
So
we've
cool.
got Eli Fitch is going to come on and teach us some custom maps animation. He's at Mapbox, and so we're going to do some really cool stuff there. Then we've got Angie Jones is going to teach us visual testing with Cypress. GIF is going to teach us Gridsome. Like, we've got so much cool stuff coming up. Definitely go check out the schedule. And remember, you can set up, where is it? It's here. There. No, that's the wrong one. Calendar. Can I spell? There it is. We now have a calendar. So you can go add this to your Google Calendar and it will show you when the episodes come. That's auto updated. So whenever we add something new, you'll be able to see it so that hopefully you can join in. With that, Tara, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much. That was a lot of fun.
This was a blast. Chat, stay tuned. We're going to raid. Tara, thank you. We will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.